You're listening to Mad Men Sports, sponsored by Black Button Distilling. At 149 Swan Street, it is your best place in Buffalo to get your fucking spirits.
It's week 1, guys. Bills versus Jets. Are you ready? Let's fucking go.
Hit me, I told
Start
you.
us off. Let's go. I'm ready.
What's going on, Zach? Are you excited or what? I can tell.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this since the end of last season. Since the moment that Josh Allen was about to throw that football out of the stadium at New Era Field, I've been waiting for this exact moment. Bring me the Jets. I want to eat them alive. I've been waiting through 4 preseason games, all wins, by the way. I've been waiting through training camp, mini camp, pretend camp, pre-camp, post-camp. I want it all. I want it all right now. It's Wednesday. You guys are watching this on Thursday, listening to it on Thursday. Let's get this season rolling. Off to a 1-0 start, Dave. Let's go.
Dave!
I'm stoked too. Let's go, baby.
I need you to get a little more excited. This is real.
Woo!
Thank you.
Dave, in our defense, someone in the comment section told you to go on the practice squad. Are you going to take that shit?
Yeah, he can kiss my ass.
He's going to take that
You
shit. That's
heard
fine.
it here first.
It's the Duke Williams of Mad Men Sports.
I am positive towards the team. Love the team. We're gonna win, and you are gonna lose.
What?
Who?
The Jets. The Jets are going to lose.
The Jets.
Bring me Sam Darnold. That defense is going to eat the shit out of Sam Darnold this year.
Word.
Guys, let's dissect the game.
Guys, we have the first crack at Le'Veon Bell this year. Guy hasn't played in over a year. Didn't play at all during preseason. We're the first team to hit this motherfucker. Are you guys ready?
I'm excited to tear his head off. I want Ed Oliver in his throat.
I want Starla Tulele taking on double teams, opening up for Tremaine Edmonds to come rushing downhill, fill in the gap, destroying them. Now listen.
Is this Attitude Era Mad Men Sports?
Absolutely.
Attitude, baby. Let's go.
Bills are in. The Jets are out. Let's go. I keep hearing about how the Jets are going to be 9-7, 10-6, and the Bills will be 4-12, 8-8, whatever. We are not going to play second fiddle to the Jets.
We thought we had receiving core that was subpar. Look at that team.
Who the hell is Anderson? Quincy Enunwa?
Dobby
Nothing.
Anderson?
They have no tight end. Chris Herndon's suspended for the first 4
We
weeks.
have Lee Smith, baby. They got nothing at tight end.
We got Lee Smith. You heard it here first. The best tight end in the league.
The only skill position that they have that's useful is Le'Veon Bell, and the poor guy hasn't played in over a year.
With a horrible offensive line.
Exactly. Listen, they had to bring Khalil out of retirement just to put a starter in that spot. How much worse can you get there?
You can't. You cannot.
Listen, they were talking all offseason that they were getting that guy from Denver. I mean, his agent is that Gary Vanderchuk guy, right?
Oh, fuck that guy.
A diehard Jets fan. And he couldn't even get him to sign to that damn team.
Also, Anthony Barr. Did you forget that?
Anthony Barr was like, you know what?
Nope.
I'm going to head out. He
I
hit
bet
you
the
with the
SpongeBob
SpongeBob.
I don't
looking
want to get
ass.
jumped on hurdles.
Listen, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yes. You don't want that war.
There's nothing that the Jets have on that roster that I am yearning for.
Only thing on the roster that is a strong point for that team is the running back position, being Ty Montgomery, Le'Veon Bell, and whatever his name.
Trash.
And you can have them.
But
Trash.
if the Jets were smart, they'd run right up the middle at our rookie defensive tackle, and boom, Ed Oliver will be ready for him. Harrison Phillips will be ready for him. We have a young
Jordan Phillips will be ready for him. Tremaine Edmonds will be ready for him.
The Bills will be ready. The Bills this week are healthier than the Jets, better coaching staff than the Jets, and I do believe Josh Allen is better than Sam Darnold. Boom.
Listen, I think when it comes to the
no
Darnold versus Allen debate, I think that as a passer, Darnold is more seasoned at this point. He's a USC kid, way more competition in college than Wyoming. We've talked about that for years, Jake and I, even since before the draft when we were deciding who we liked. It was Darnold versus Allen, and even Rosen was in there a little bit. I think when it comes to being a playmaker, having the ball in your hands, being in control of the game, I'm going with Josh Allen because we know he can run, and we know he can throw it deep. But he got a weapon this offseason in Cole Beasley that I don't think we should look over at all. I think this guy, I think he's due for 100 catches this year. I'm willing to go out on that limb.
Damn. And I just want to say about Josh Allen as well, you know he has that it factor. Sam Darnold kind of just seems like a guy who's sitting at a country club, sitting back, not doing anything. He's your safe guy. He's your Alex Smith. Josh Allen, he's it, baby. He's your Joe Montana, your Dan Marino.
Josh Allen's your playmaker. And when it comes to the NFL, you win by having playmakers. Brady is a playmaker, not as to the same degree I want to say of Josh Allen because he's not so much a dual threat, but Tom Brady's a way more peppered offensive weapon with the arm. I think that'll come with time for Josh Allen. I don't think that's something that's going to happen today or even Sunday for that matter. I don't think we're going to get the Josh Allen experience in full force until like after the bye week.
I don't think we're ready for it.
But listen, after his injury last year, he came back rocked and loaded, ready to tear the NFL apart. He even said after that Miami game, he wished there was more games to play. And you know what? So did I. I understand that there wasn't. Listen, this team was 6-10 last year with 4 different starting quarterbacks. If you don't think that they can be at least 3 to 4 games better than that with a quarterback and a better offensive line and better wide receivers and a little bit more experienced defense, I don't know what I can do for you guys. This team is ready to rock and roll. I'm following Sean McDermott into battle this week, and I'm going to give him 19 weeks of playing time this year. He's a playoff team.
Playoff team?
Absolutely.
So, all right. Dave, you have been the most critical on the podcast. So this seems very correct. This seems right. Make a bet. Playoffs. Do you think we'll make the playoffs?
Good in my head, no.
No. Zach, as you just heard, we're making the playoffs. So, boys, let's make a bet here.
Maybe one last week. What did we make last week? Do you even remember?
No, of course
it's
not.
on the tape. I don't remember. But
we were drinking Black Button, so I don't remember.
We bet 2 bottles of Black Button. You are absolutely right. But I'm saying that they make the playoffs this year. And you think that they're saying no? You're saying
I think they're on the outside looking in, but I think they're a much better team than they were last year.
Who in the
and
AFC?
And as Bills fans, as I said, that's fine. Relax. We're fine. Don't blow up the city.
Name 2 teams in the AFC you think that make it over them.
Wild card?
Yeah, because that's all that matters until Brady's done.
Good question. I think either...
Put you on the spot, huh?
No, it's a fine question. Either the Steelers or Browns. I think one of them wins the division, obviously, and one of them gets in the wild card. I think that the West is packed, even though people don't think that. I think the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos are all going to be fighting for a wild card spot. One of them wins the division.
So you think someone's coming out of the West and someone's coming out of the North? I'm telling you,
I think maybe 2 teams come out of the West.
I'm telling you that those teams beat up against each other so bad, and the Bills have to get the luxury of playing the Giants and at least the Dolphins.
We do.
I think they make it out of it a little cleaner.
I think the Bills are fighting. The Bills will be right there fighting with like the Broncos and Browns at the end. But I think it's too tough. I think it's very tough. But I think it's all positive.
Let's focus in on the Jets here.
Yeah, let's dissect that a little bit. Earlier this week, Zach and I talked. The Jets went out there and grabbed Greg Williams as a defensive coordinator. How do we do against Greg Williams typically?
It's a little different because obviously he was our head coach way back, almost a decade at this point, if not longer, right?
Sorry, defensive coordinator. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
Absolutely. But he does a great job at disguising his defense pre-snap. He does a even better job disguising his defense post-snap. So the way that Josh Allen is coming into this game, he's going to see many different looks and many different points in the play, just even from the plays itself. He's going to have to trust Brian Dable to put him in the best position to succeed on Sunday, and that comes from having Cole Beasley being able to move around. We've seen it all summer. He's a great route runner. We've seen it in Dallas. He's a great route runner. We're going to have to rely on our wide receivers to really get open against the Greg Williams defense. We're going to rely on the newly starting running backs of Devin Singletary and Frank Gore there. I think it comes down to the playmakers making plays. Greg Williams is a great defensive coordinator. He's been able to stay in this league for many decades.
He knows how to cover receivers. He's all over the field back there.
Yeah,
but I would say when it comes to covering receivers, the Jets are so weak at corner that I'm taking my one-on-one matchups. I'm finding the hot route.
The Jets had the 3rd overall pick this year. They picked up Leonard Williams. The Jets are dying to see how he looks.
Quentin Williams. We've been talking about that.
Williams, I'm sorry. I've overstudied the Jets. Leonard Williams is on their team, though. I overstudied the Jets. They have 2 very good nose tackles, being those 2 positions. But I don't think that affects us. I think we're perfectly fine. I do think Josh Allen has the chance to throw all over this team. We will see.
And you want to know what's interesting, Dave? I don't even blame you for saying Leonard Williams and not Quentin Williams, because did you know that Quentin Williams isn't even penciled in as their number 1 defensive tackle?
Backup.
Exactly. He's the number 2. which is not something you want if you're going to draft a guy number 3. I mean, fuck the Jets. I can't wait to beat them this week.
The Jets.
My position that I'm looking forward to that could make or break for the Bills this week is
And listen, I'm sorry for the language. I'm
the
just excited.
The Bills picked up Andre Roberts this offseason.
As you should.
Right now, he's currently injured. It's
His quad
it's
will be
only
fine.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He wants nothing more than play against his team. Play against the team that drafted him, the team that he played in the home stadium for years. He wants to go out there, and the Bills need special teams work this year. Big focus of the offseason. I think that's the one position you want to keep an eye out for, Zach and Jake, is the Bills special teams work this week in particular. I think Andre Roberts has a chance to make a big return. We need it, and the punt return, Bills need a big one. Bills need to win the field position game with 2 young quarterbacks.
Do you know what's really scary? Behind Le'Veon Bell, arguably your biggest playmaker on offense is Robbie Anderson. You kind of got to be a little nervous going into week 1 knowing you're one injury away from having a talentless team.
True.
They have a talentless team.
I think a sleeper for the Jets that the Bills need to keep an eye on is Ty Montgomery. Huge playmaker in Green Bay for the time he was there.
He's spent at this point.
Yeah,
I think that they're going to use him in the passing game a lot. Keep an eye on Ty Montgomery. Bills need to make sure they cover him. Le'Veon Bell, I don't think is going to get a lot of touches. I think he's going to play a lot, but it's his first actual game time action in a year, maybe and a half. So I don't think the Jets are rushing him back. I think the Jets are going to be very heavily on throwing Darnold back there and letting him gunsling it out a little bit.
To who? To Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson, in all
Ty
fairness,
Montgomery, Robbie Anderson, and
in all fairness
they
to
picked up
Robbie
another guy,
Anderson,
Jamison Crowder, maybe.
he made a great play against Trey White last year that actually ended up winning the game for the Jets. Now, everyone will remember the running play to score the touchdown to end the game, but if Robbie Anderson doesn't make that great catch in the back of the end zone against Trey White, they probably don't win that game. Now, all's fair to what you just said about the playmakers making plays. I think when it all comes down to it, I think I would take our defense against their offense any day of the week. True or false?
I would agree. Well,
Yeah,
I would
1,000%.
I want to agree with that. Yes,
So
it's also week 1. We will see.
exactly, that's the hardest
I've
part.
been very high on the defense.
That's the hardest part about literally. I mean, to be fair to us and everyone out there, the national media, whatever, it's the preseason. So, we're going to be excited about this game as a podcast, and we're going to be excited about the future of the Bills as a whole. But I think when it comes down to it, it's really important to see what Dable does and what Josh Allen brings to the table this week, and what the offense kind of looks like with a little bit of an upgrade almost everywhere. I mean, running back included. I think that Bills really need to pay attention to what happens in the first 2 quarters of this game, and then compare it to what happens in the final 2 quarters of this game. Use these 2 quarters, 2 halves of this game as a benchmark of what you think this team could do, because they're going to have to come out against this new look Jets team. Now, it's one thing to, you've coached Adam Gase for years, but you don't know what he's going to look like with Greg Williams as a defensive coordinator, going up with a quarterback that he's never coached before. This is a whole new look Jets team. It's easy to say that they suck here, but when it comes time on Sunday, they might not suck. We don't know that. I'm willing to bet that they will, but it's a whole new look for this team. Everything's brand new on this team, besides Darnold, but it's a new look. When you're putting up against the Bills, it's something that Adam Gase is a little bit more familiar with than McDermott's going to be familiar with, vice versa. So you really have to watch what kind of adjustments him, Leslie Frazier, and Brian Dable make at halftime in order to kind of flip it over and see if they can win this game, if not put them away at that point. The adjustments at halftime will be the key to this game.
I will not leave this podcast without talking about those god-awful Jet jerseys. Can we talk about that real quick? They
sure.
look awful.
Yeah, gross.
That's all.
That's
That
it.
was talking jerseys. Let's jump right into Mad Men by the Numbers, Jake. Let's hear it.
Mad Men, by the numbers. This is a weekly segment at this point. You know who it's brought to you by. Prima Pizza. It's on Chippewa. Zach, you had it tonight, didn't you?
Yes. I stopped by, saw Kevin, got a ham sub. Love my ham subs. He folds
Did you
the
save me any?
No, he folds the
No,
ham
of
and
course.
cheese really nice.
You don't take that home.
It's nice and layered. It's perfect. It was nice, thick, nice sub.
Perfect. They're open 6 days a week. They're closed on Sundays, but they have daily lunch specials, so you're always getting a great deal for your buck. But yeah, let's get into it. Mad Men by the numbers. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to need your opinions here. Le'Veon Bell. It's been a topic of conversation today. Does he get over 100 yards? 0 to 10.
Rushing or passing or both?
Rushing. Just rushing.
No.
No. If you had to pick just a ballpark, what do you think he's looking at?
I would say 55, 60-ish. I don't think, like I said, don't think he gets a lot of touches. I think the Jets go very passing heavy. I think he gets a couple catches. I think he rounds about 80 yards the whole game. I really think, I know he's getting paid what he's getting paid, but I think it's going to be running back by committee this week. I think they're going to be very heavy on Powell, sorry. Getting his name wrong. I think Le'Veon Bell will still be a big factor, but it's his first game back in a while. Long time. I think he gets about 55-60 this week.
Perfect. Zach.
I say 100% to him getting 100 yards. And that just comes from basically more power to him. I mean, he ran behind a great Steelers line, but every time that the Bills have ever played the Steelers, Bell has been patient as a runner. That's one thing I've always observed by him. He finds the hole. He waits for the hole to open up. I don't know if he'll be ready to wait for that and all that. He's probably anxious. It's his first game in, 18 months plus at this point. And even the year before when he did play, he missed a chunk of that because of a suspension. So there has been kind of a consistency problem with Le'Veon Bell. One thing that's always been consistent is that he's killed the Bills. In 2 games against the Bills, his last 2 games against the Bills, he's had 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. That is something that McDermott was brought in to kind of stop, because we all remember that run defense before with Rex, and even Marone didn't have a great run defense with Schwartz. There's something to be said to what McDermott has been able to make here. It's going to be a great test, but I still think that they go to him a little bit more than you might think, just to get him going, A, and then B, use him as a safety valve, because the defense is so good that they kind of shut down the long half of the field, so they kind of have to break it off for him. I think that he becomes a 25-30 carry guy, and I think he goes for over 100 yards.
Yeah, I think the Bills' defense is a lot different than it was 3 years ago when he last played us. The whole philosophy is different. We're more run protection now. We got Edmonds back there, who's brought in to stop the run. We got Starr, who apparently all he does is stop the run. So when he does do good. And we just got a lot of veterans and a lot of people on the front seven that are there to stop the run. We didn't have that a couple years ago. We were more sack heavy.
Yeah, and I mean, we know historically the Bills have had a solid defense. Correct. Their run defense hasn't always been up to par, but I believe, yes, that's going to change. I don't think that Le'Veon Bell will reach 100, but you'll have to see. My second question for you guys. The Bills' defense, we've been talking about it. Off-season, we've kind of neglected the defense. We were all offensive heavy with all the new acquisitions. That's fine. We're going to give the defense some love. Last year, I have to say the Bills probably the most underrated defense in the league. They didn't give up big numbers in the passing game. Sam Darnold, over or under 250 passing yards? Zach, we'll start with you.
This is a tough one because I just gave Le'Veon 100 yards. So if I give him over 250,
they're gashing the Bills.
Yeah, I'm saying that the Bills kind of give up yards here. And they were the second in the league. They were second in the league in yards against last year. So the defense was kind of touted for that reason. I don't think it's necessarily difficult to get 250 yards when you're down by 15 plus points. So I'm going to say yes, he gets over 250 yards.
Perfect. Dave?
I say no. I don't think he does. I think this is a low-scoring game between the range of 20 to 13. I think it's 2 young quarterbacks still commanding both teams. I think both coaches kind of play it safe. I don't think it's going to be a shootout throwing-wise. I also don't think Bell's going to get what he's going to get. So I think the Bills' defense has a very good game. I think they're fired up at an away game. Jets Stadium's usually pretty loud. So I think it's going to be kind of a tight game. I do think the Bills have the upper hand here, but I don't think the game gets out of hand by Darnold throwing over 250. I think he's probably around the 220 range, and so is Allen for that matter. I think it's going to be very competitive with those two. It's going to be fun to watch those two's career head-to-head, but he does not get over 250, I think.
Yeah, and both valuable opinions by my 2 friends here. Last one. I promise it's the last one. We're going to give the offense some love. Cole Beasley, probably our biggest free agent acquisition over the offseason. A lot of confidence the Bills coaching staff and Josh Allen have in him. Does he get more than 10 targets? Zach?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go 3 straight yeses here for 100%. Yeah, I think he gets 10 targets. I think there's parts of the game where they try to feed him, especially on third down. I think they'll be looking for him. He's the hot route. I mean, they had the preseason game against, I believe it was Detroit, where they opened up the game 4 for 4 to Beasley. I don't expect much different of their game plan going forward. I'd say at least 8 looks. I'm hoping he gets 10 targets, maybe 6 or 7 catches.
I hope he gets 10 catches, but that's fine. David, what do you think, buddy?
100% he gets over 10. I would hope he gets 20. He's the focus of the offense in the passing game. Make him the focus. Make plays around him. Give him the ball 10 times a game. That's what you brought him in for. Let's do it, baby.
Interesting. I've seen a lot of chatter between Cole Beasley and John Brown. Who's going to be the focal point of this offense? We know Josh Allen's attributes. He wants to throw the ball deep. John Brown's kind of that character player that is a vertical threat. Or does he stay safe with the short and intermediate routes, which everyone is saying Josh Allen doesn't have the ability to throw those balls? So it's kind of interesting to see you have 2 wide receivers that definitely play 2 different games. I mean, one's kind of over the middle, intermediate throws, and one's a deep threat. So, guys, this is kind of just posing a general question here. Who's going to be more successful this year? Is it going to be John Brown or is it going to be Cole Beasley? My money is on Cole Beasley.
I'll just let the games decide that one. I hope that both are equally successful, and the Bills are putting up 2,000-yard receivers this year. I have no problem with that happening, and everyone just gets a piece of that pie.
You know what I'm going to say, Cole Beasley.
But why? So what you saying, Cole Beasley, that tells me that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It tells me that Josh Allen understands his game. He knows he's successful throwing the ball deep, stretching the ball. What really would be fantastic is to hone his skills in that short and intermediate throws that everyone's saying he can't make, and we have seen him make in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it is Cole Beasley, that's good news because you see the practices and stuff, you read the reports, Capaccio and all that. Those 2 are always hanging out together. Those 2 are always studying film together. Those 2 are always just right there watching practices together. The slot receiver is supposed to be the quarterback safety blanket. So is a running back out in the wide. Slot receiver is a quarterback safety blanket. So that's a good thing because it shows Brown's either double covered or just really covered by the other team's best corner. And Zay Jones, we know where he stands right now. So if Cole Beasley is the best receiver on the team or most reliable receiver on the team, you can't be mad. That's a great thing. That's a great thing to have. That's why I'm saying throw him the ball 10, 15 times a game. Make teams scared of him and to open up Brown and open up Zay Jones and open up the tight end and open up the other options like Foster. That's a good thing. You want Beasley, your slot receiver, to be a huge threat that teams prepare for.
Zach, what do you have there, buddy?
I have a box from Prima Pizza. This segment, Madman by the Numbers, is brought to you by Prima Pizza. Great takes as always, great slices as always. A match made in heaven. Now, guys, give it to me. Give me 2 players to watch going into the game. Either Bills or Jets. I'm not very picky for this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be Devin Singletary, number 1. It seems like we're giving up a lot for Devin Singletary to thrive. Essentially you're giving away LaShawn McCoy. It's going to be interesting to see how this 3rd-round draft pick is going to perform in a pretty legendary running back room. I mean, you had LaShawn McCoy, you have Frank Gore. Those are 2 definitely Hall of Fame running backs. Let's see. Hopefully you learned from him with as much time as you had, and let's see if he tears it up. My second player, it's going to be very cliche. It's going to be Josh Allen. It's his first week 1 starting job. Fuck you, Nathan Peterman. I want to see him command the field. I want to see him relaxed. I don't want him to think, oh my God, these are the lights. I'm terrified. I need him to be poised and a field general.
Yeah, and to be fair to what Jake said, one thing I've noticed going back watching film with Josh Allen, besides that Jags game where they really got on top of him quick, he's more of a slow starter when it comes to some games. And I think that might be a problem going into this season. Obviously, we can see if he adjusts, feels a little bit more comfortable. But I know if even myself, I know me and Josh Allen aren't the same guy, but it would be nerve-wracking always. It'd be nerve-wracking always to step into another stadium, week one, with new weapons, new guys in front of you, new guy next to you, and kind of just ready to rock and roll and expect that offense to move. I know that he knows these guys, but this is really their first make-or-break moment on that first quarter. That's why I said earlier, the first half of the game and the second half of the game, I think are going to be almost two different games. I think you're going to see some cobwebs, A, some adjustments, B, and then C, I think you're just going to see comfortability grow as the game goes on.
Yeah, perfect. Dave.
My two players is one I already talked about, Andre Roberts. He was brought here to lead special teams. He was brought here to improve the special teams. We have a new special teams coach. He's playing his old team. I really think that we're going to be talking Sunday night. You guys are going to be patting me on the back saying Andre Roberts was the right pick, and he's going to get he's going to get a diamond in the rough because I do think he's going to play there's a swear word for you, of a game.
Revenge game.
Second player is one we haven't seen anything out of yet, and one that I can't wait to see, one that just made a lot of money, is Mitch Morris. He hasn't done anything with Josh Allen yet in an active game. I think the Jets will be targeting him because I think they know there's no chemistry there. So I think the Jets are going to be going right up the middle. I want to see Mitch Morris just dominate that and have some chemistry with Josh Allen and just have a great combo there, a la Eric Wood.
Yeah, I think that the offensive line is going to be important. I think, like we said, Josh Allen's going to be important. The running back. I think all of that's going to meld together. And it's really going to be a make-or-break game. I know everyone wants to say that this Jets game is going to be easy. But, I mean, week ones are so hard to guess. Like, this is usually where a majority of those 2-and-out pools, those, suicide pools, whatever they call them, this is really where they get their first loss or people get knocked out because it's so hard to guess what these teams are. I mean, we have the Bears and Packers the first game of the year, and I don't know whether the Bears are going to get right back on the horse right away, and I don't know if
people are high in the Packers this year.
I don't know if Rodgers is going to get right into it. I mean, no one knows week one. I mean, the one thing we do know is that the Bills play the Jets on Sunday, and that's one thing I sure as hell am excited about.
So let's dissect this a little bit. Like,
Hell yeah.
we're saying that the Jets are an easy win, and it's kind of scary to me, and I hope it's scary to all of you fans because it shouldn't be that easy. These teams are very similar. You have Darnold, you have Allen. You have
Correct.
running backs that have veterans running their team that are also like strong in that. We have Yeldon, Singletary. They have Blow Powell, who's got 4 shutouts at this point, and Montgomery. We have young receivers that both teams have no idea what to expect out of the receivers. And we have a strong offensive line, we hope. And they have a young offensive line that two of their players went to the Pro Bowl last year. Their defensive line is not... Their defense is just simply not as good as ours. But they've got Greg Williams in, who's one of the best defensive coordinators that has coached the game. I think there's a lot of things to worry about in this game. I do think the Bills come out of here with a victory, but I don't think it's as easy as we all think. I think the Giants and Bengals game could all be sleeper games that Bills are sleeping on, which I hope they don't. Let's worry about this game right now, and let's just say it's going to be a tough game. I really think it's going to come down to who's the better young quarterback, and that's it. I don't think it's going to be an easy victory, but I do think it's going to come down to Josh Allen takes a step up this year and wins these close games.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid here, and that's fine. I'm going to say it's an easy win. You don't know what you have in Sam Darnold. He was hurt a lot last year. Le'Veon Bell coming 18 months plus of not playing football. I don't think Robbie Anderson is enough talent to be a true number one. You got no tight ends. Your O-line is horrible. You cut your 3rd-round draft pick?
Yeah,
I mean what is that coaching staff doing?
It's just poor general manager,
Jets-
which they fired after the draft.
The Jets, I just don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're in a similar position to the Miami Dolphins. They're just looking up Schitt's Creek.
Listen, I
Good
think,
show.
I think that your take that they're looking the same as the Dolphins is a poor take. I think they're about 2 years ahead of where the Dolphins are.
Well, let me reiterate then. I think they're more on a Dolphins standard than they are Patriots standard. I mean, you have the upper echelon in the Patriots. You have the lower class like the Dolphins. I definitely think they're more in line with the Dolphins than they are the Patriots.
I think they're going in the right direction. I think Darnold is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. I think he's a
journeyman player.
he's
like
a journeyman
Alex Smith is.
in the NFL, but he's also in his second year, so it might be an all-pro.
He's in his second year? What
We
are you guys
have
calling him
we have
journeyman
no idea. Same thing I'm saying.
going to be.
Bills fans to be patient with Josh Allen. Jets fans need to be patient with Darnold. Jets put a lot on the line this year going out there getting Bell. That was not easy for them because that costs a lot of money and it's not really a Jets move. Jets have I don't think the Jets are proud of their defense. Bills could tear apart their defense. I don't think they will, but the Bills could. I think Greg Williams is a big factor that you're sleeping on. I think the Jets are going in the right direction, but the Bills are climbing that ladder a lot faster than they are.
All right, let me put my spin on this game a little bit more than I did earlier. Earlier was more of a hype scenario, which I'm all for. I almost give you that every week as long as they're not 0-15, right? But that'd be the only scenario where I don't give you a hype train. Listen, I think this is a rivalry to come, if not already here. You have Adam Gase, literally the head coach from the Dolphins last year. If you needed another reason to hate this team, that's it. That they're dumb enough, honestly, to hire a coach that literally got fired from the team within your division. I mean, like, you had a first-hand front row seat at how bad that team was.
How did he get a second job?
It was just nuts. And then we saw the press conference, and then
Let's talk about the press conference, huh?
and then this is how he stands at his Monday morning press conference. So Adam Gase, I'm not a fan. Greg Williams, I mean, he's bounced around enough times in the defensive coordinator ranks. He's good enough to get a job. Obviously, these teams aren't good enough to keep him a job. That's been a constant problem. We have Josh Allen versus Darnold, literally a rivalry within the division that could last for their whole careers, hopefully. I mean,
Even Josh
for our
Rosen.
turn, yeah. So I think when it comes down to the Bills, Jets, I mean, even Quentin Williams versus Ed Oliver, you're going to always have storylines with these two teams from here on out. This is literally day one, week one of what's going to happen for the rest of these careers. Rookie season, these guys were going to get all the time in the world, but now these teams have invested money and players around them in order to make them better, to see if they can move the meter a little bit. It's time. This is where the rivalry begins. This is going to be exciting. Now, we've all sat through terrible, terrible Bills-Jets games. I mean, we remember the Thursday night game where I don't know what happened. They just bursted at the seams. We sat through the hot home opener 2 years ago. Where
That was the most boring game.
So boring. But this will be a slobber knocker that I'm looking forward to.
Back in the Chet Pennington days, too?
Yeah, I mean,
Gross.
the
Vinny
Bills versus Jets
Testaverde.
have never been sexy, but I think that these two quarterbacks will lead these teams into sexiness. They're bringing sexy back.
Let's
You
get,
heard it here
let's get sexy.
first.
And listen,
Speaking.
I do apologize for all the vulgarity. I'm just excited. It's week one. We're excited. We're happy. This is the Mad Men Sports Podcast, guys. What more could you want?
We're so excited. We're celebrating it Friday. What are we doing?
We have a kickoff to the season party, which, if you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, know us in person, we haven't stopped talking about it. We're excited. It's at Black Button Distillery at 149 Swan Street. I happened to be there today for a gin blending class. Check that out. I was there. Jason Barrett was there. That's the founder of Black Button. He let us try almost every component of their gins. They blended it together. Let me almost make my own gin. I made this gin, guys. They tried it. It's really strong. They don't like it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, they're being nice.
All right, no, it's strong.
Leave it to the professionals.
Zach brought sex in my mouth. It was so good.
Okay, now they're being overly nice. So we'll be there. They'll be there. You can have free tastings there. We'll have free prima pasta pizza there, guys. Pizza, pasta, whatever. We have free giveaways. Now pass this down and hold it up for us.
Oh, and even a certificate of authenticity.
Who's this
They
guy?
all have certificate of authenticity.
Jerry Hughes.
We picked up some Jerry Hughes autograph picture.
Hey, Jerry.
Stevie Johnson, he caught this ball.
He caught it.
Autograph picture.
Perfect.
We have a Daryl Talley signed autographed jersey.
Wall of Famer.
Check that out.
I'm just gonna take.
Who doesn't
this.
love Daryl Taylor? You're not taking that. It's not yours to take. And we have a signed football from the 2007 Buffalo Bills. Now, that's not all. We also have gift cards to give away, much more prizes. And literally, if you guys are there, enjoying yourself, having a great time, you're automatically included into these raffles. There's no, you're not buying tickets or anything. You're there, you buy a drink, you get a ticket. Once you buy a drink, you get a ticket, and you are automatically enrolled in these raffles. So if you're already there having a drink, kicking it back on a Friday night,
You can win.
you can just automatically win. You can be sitting there drinking your Black Button 4-grain bourbon like I will be. Meet me out on the patio. I'll be there. chopping it up with you guys. And then, boom, Jake comes out with a Darryl Talley signed jersey. You're taking that home. Boom, what are you doing? Comes with a certificate of authenticity from David Adams. I mean,
You can't get any better than a certificate of authenticity.
We will have another drink to celebrate.
Exactly. There is not one thing stopping you from coming to this Black Button party, and I hope to see you guys there. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be pizza flowing. We're going to have spirits flowing. I was there this evening, and I really couldn't help myself by having a good time. I'm smiling. Great time, great atmosphere. The outside patio was gorgeous, especially in the fall. I mean, we're not there yet. It's still summer.
Oh, give me the fall weather.
But gorgeous weather, gorgeous outside, gorgeous atmosphere. Check us out. We'll be there. Pizza, spirits, giveaways.
Oh, my.
Mad Men Sports. What more do you guys need?
You can't. Nothing.
We'll see you there Friday from 6 to 10. Check out Facebook. Look us up on Facebook, Mad Men Sports. We have our event posted on there for all the details in case you can't hear me, and that's fine too. Jake, you excited for Sunday? Scale 1 to 10.
Oh, Madman by the numbers type shit. Yes. 10. I mean,
Dave, scale 1 to 10.
I'll give you this.
woo! Ric Flair.
I don't know. That's not a number. All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll talk to you Sunday night, hopefully with a big old W. We eating W's out here.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.